All right, figure I'm at work, so I'm going to put out a video, talk about this Halloween, what's coming up, from what prophets are saying, and this great reset, this financial reset that's coming. So basically, I'm at work, so I got cameras in front of me that I'm watching, and normally what I do is go out and do a foot patrol, and then if that's not, I'm in watching the cameras. So I'm just feeling like I need to, chat about things I've been hearing about this Halloween coming up. You got that Three-Eye Atlas doing some weird stuff. You have, from the get-go when I got into this Great Awakening fight, somewhere in 2017, well actually in 2016, but 2017, and then telling people latter 2017 to buy gold and silver. And a small voice said to me, because I was kind of trashing on crypto at the time because everybody was talking Bitcoin, and this small voice said to me, look into it. So at that point in time I did, and then 2018 got a lot of XRP, a lot of it at 17 pennies. So what I did was, there's a lot of people out there in the battle for this, to wake up people, what's going on. A lot of people talking about the dinar and the dong, the Vietnamese dong, stuff that's going to reset. Now, I've been hearing about that stuff for a long time, at least the Iraqi dinar. So I was able to find some of that stuff. Somebody left some stuff out one day about 15 years ago. Like, they probably just thought, just worthless paper. And I thought, cool for a collector's item or whatever. So I grabbed it, and then started hearing about that they're going to do this reset. Some people say the QFS, the quantum financial system. We have all sorts of different people saying different things. But the dong was probably about 6 months ago. Somebody that I followed had come out and said that, somebody that, that has this spiritual intuition, and you started talking about the dong, that it was going to reset at $1 or possibly $2. And you could buy 500,000, for like, actually I think 1 million of it for like $80, $70 or something like that. So I did it. I bought some. I'm thinking, okay, $80 is worth a chance, right? And so I did. And I'm hearing, the thing is, what we did, or what the deep state did, how we went in there and we took over these countries that didn't want to bow down to our corrupt cabal system, which is, by the way, getting ready to go down. So that's this transition. Now, I don't know if it's coming up on this Halloween. Kim Clement had said something about this Halloween, talks about it. He had the fall, the cabal stuff going on, and he talks about his latest from his daughter. He said that she had found one where, in 2006, where he was taken up in the atmosphere and kind of seen maybe these planets forming, or these small balls, which brings up the three-eye atlas, what everybody's talking about. That thing's going perihelion on Halloween. So what's that? The closest to the sun or whatever, or the earth, as it swings around and heads back. And then from what I'm hearing is that this thing might be on a course heading to Jupiter. So I don't know, that's the latest I heard. Is there some kind of energy from it that Kim Clement talks about? He always talked about the Big E and this new energy coming. Now, I've always taken that from there being an earthquake or something, and this new energy comes about. So I've always kind of follow this stuff. So just in case, it's kind of like you want to jump on it right away if it's going to be a source of energy that you're going to be able to capitalize on. So right now, these old currencies, like, and I do have silver. I don't think I have gold or anything, but silver, I've kind of inherited silver. I had bought silver back when it was $22. in that range an ounce. But really, it's kind of like you need a big safe or a volt type thing. And then the thing I got a problem when people are pushing that stuff is these young kids. You know, if they were to have silver and whatever, gold or something, you know how easy it is for them to have somebody steal that stuff? So that was always the issue. You know, the older folks, you know, yeah, lock that stuff up in safes and whatever. These kids, they're not going to sit there and have some big safe or lock or whatever put in. There's no understanding there. Other than what's coming is our dollar being backed by the gold. What it was prior. That makes all the sense in the world. So this stuff could be happening. And the thing is with the dong is like, when did I get it? 4, 5, 6 months ago that I spent the $80. I did it twice. You know, bought it, FedEx right there. I got it within days. And as the guy said, hey, look, is $80 worth an opportunity of having a million or more, right? And everything I know about ISO 2022 is all being implemented. Could it be coming up on this October? So that's the big question. Something has got to give, man. I feel like we're coming to that pinnacle. Now, the rapture folks will say the rapture is going to happen. And you have the other people that were part of the Great Awakening or intuitive to listen to prosperity people saying, look, here's your opportunity. This is what you need to get. This is this reset coming. And that's the other part of it. That kind of what I tapped into to the people that I kind of followed were the people that were going to give you the best blessing, right? And so the movement went on from YouTube and everybody being taken down. A lot of people went to Rumble. Some people still stayed on YouTube because they just kind of, you know, had to watch their P's and Q's, if you know what I mean. I did, and I had my channels taken down. Got my big channels back. Now, this one's not a big channel, but my other two big ones, I have to be careful. Still got some copyright sitting on those, and I have to change up the way I do stuff. But anyway, I thought, you know, if I get blessed by the guy that had brought up the dong, and that happens, right? I'm hearing that thing might be reset at $2, a buck. Then he came back and said $2. Now you're looking at you buy that a half or a million of it for $80. Look at the money right there. The Iraqi dinar, a ton of people were buying into that stuff. But from the latest I heard on that today was that the gal supposedly was told by the Almighty $7 going to be the magic number on that. So I'm kind of like, okay. I don't really have that much Iraqi dinar anyway. It would be probably close to maybe 6 figures maybe there on that, if that's the case, at the 7. If that makes Iraqi dinar 7, maybe the dong will be a little bit higher than 2, maybe 3. Either way, it seems like a dream for this stuff to happen, because we were always told. But it just feels like something is getting ready to come to its pinnacle. Now, I'm a federal police officer, but we have not been informed of anything if that's coming, as in a shutdown or whatever, or an EBS, but probably wouldn't anyway, because probably half the cops or whatever are not trustworthy. I don't know many that I work with at all that even in any of the stuff that I follow and talk about. Nothing. None of the 17 followers. That's just been me. That explain it. I got to a point where I stopped saying stuff because you just felt like you were getting nowhere with the trafficking thing and all that stuff. They're going, good grief, guys! 800,000 kids were going missing, and not one word. We're not questioning any of the crap. You guys have your head sitting in the ground like a donkey in the ground. And so that's kind of how that went. And it was like, good grief, it would have been nice to have at least a couple of them that would have been in the same arena as me on this stuff, but it is what it is. YouTube's back up, so I think more people will be awakened than on Rumble. Most people, I even mentioned Rumble, they have no clue what Rumble is. We were big in 2019, I think, is when the takedown got brought up. If I remember right, it was July of 2019 that the Democrats put that into take down channels that weren't, like if it wasn't breaking news that the news hadn't mentioned it, you couldn't talk about it, so they were taking everybody down, using that excuse, by the way. But you could still go and talk about other stuff too. If you could talk all day about the flat earth, or you could talk about the rapture, you know, and again, they no care at all. They just let all that stuff be, but you couldn't talk about this other stuff that was what Trump basically came in to fight against. And now it's coming to a pinnacle because the big YouTube channels are back. And boy, I got one video specifically that I want to come on and talk about to point people to. But right now, the reset, the QFS, all that stuff I heard about, from what I'm hearing, Bull Pony and all these other ones are talking about this great and terrible day of the Lord coming. It could be probably Halloween. That a lot of evil is rid off this world, and then I'm referencing to any type of Nephilim, that spirit that was here, that spirit that got in people. You see most of them on the streets. You've seen that for years. They come about called Antifa. That group of demonic people that have like literally lost their mind. Reminds me of the Matthew verse where it says, 2 are in the field, one's taken, one's left behind, 2 are at the mill, or whatever it is, 2 in the bed, one's taken, one's left behind. It seems like what that verse is dealing with is everybody's still ordinary, doing what they're doing. They're not in Jacob's trouble or anything like that. If people are working in the mill and the people are sleeping, you're covering a 24-hour period of the day, and you have an event that's coming that's kind of like Moses. Remember, they had to put the lamb's blood on the door, and that death angel came in. So that's what they're talking about. And I'm like, I've already heard it was supposed to happen like in September, and it never did. And so here we are. Is it coming? So that is the question I put out. Hopefully you guys have tuned in and grabbed some of that currency that might reset. I know a lot of people got a lot of that dinar. Hopefully people have been buying a lot of silver, but again, or in what I say is the Bitcoin or the XRP, which is also the XLM, XDC. I got a group of the good ones that were on the ISO 202 that were compliant. So I had just been hodling on to that stuff, holding it. If this stuff happens, the great wealth transfer comes in, a lot of us are going to be set up. Our kids are going to be set up, and their kids are going to be set up. That's the plan. That's what I'd like to see. If God's got other means coming, that's fine. So, anyway, wanted to leave it there. Halloween next week, and I got to work Halloween. Got stuck on that. So, I'm sitting here like, anything going on? Same old stuff. It's always like the same old stuff. Heard about the EBS. Anyway, that should be it for now. Take care.